Hey, good morning, Gilles.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Is Tarek still chatting away?
No, he's off now.
No, I noticed, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
I
I
that's
know
okay.
but one of the patients, she's looking for a medication,
Yeah.
and I work with cases that have very rare disorders, like it affects 1 in a million, something like that. So these patients, they need very special help when
Yeah,
it comes
wow.
to providing their medications and
Thanks
stuff
for
like
sharing.
that.
No, I wasn't listening to what was said. I just heard your voice as I'm setting things up. So, and I saw that some people were trying to let you know that you had a live mic. So, no stress, no worries. It is almost 9:30. What's everybody looking at? If anybody
Good
wants.
morning, just the usual suspects here. Although
Yeah,
I had
usual.
it,
MQ.
poet.
Good morning, Evo. Good morning. Thanks for sharing, Oliver. MNQ, beautiful break and retest yesterday afternoon. I think Avi was talking about this during his session at 1 o'clock. Not sure if anybody grabbed that, but this is a picture perfect. This is what we mean by the break and retest. This is on a 5-minute time frame. I don't necessarily, during the trading day, I don't go to the 15-minute time frame. I can see the pattern on the 5, right? You see it here, that this was resistance in pre-market. It came up, battled against resistance, then it broke out, right? But the entry is on the retest. So there's the retest. So it broke out at 12:55, and the retest was at 13:55. So an hour later, right? That's what we mean by just setting it up. I had set an alert, and I was alerted to this on the initial breakout, but then I was in a meeting during the retest here. So I couldn't take it, but I put it in here just to show the way that I would trade it would be on a 2-minute or the 1 minute, and you enter on a bullish candle. So this is the retest, and look at this tiny little double bottom, and then bullish candle, enter on the break of that bullish candle with the stop below. And I aim for 3R with one of my systems. However, with this, especially with NQ, this was all-time high again. With NQ, post-market has made it up to the 29,700 level. So that's that break and retest. So let's get back to this. The market is open. Good luck to anybody who trades the open. Thursday, May 14th. Things to know before the market opens. So the usual stuff, stocks rise, oil is flat. The market is waiting. News on the China talks. The president of the United States is in China with a bunch of CEOs. Very interesting news just came out on Nvidia. Apparently, the Chinese market is going to be completely reopened to Nvidia, and that in pre-market right over here gave it a nice gap up. And it's just been chopping around in this area ever since. I would not be surprised to see this gap fill before the next really large move up. So yeah, Trump and Xi are having talks. Cisco had earnings. I thought I had it up here. And Cisco over here. Cisco had earnings after hours, and they had some good guidance. So Cisco is definitely in play. And Cerebras, I've had this on my board for over a year. So Cerebras IPO is today. So this will be something entertaining to watch. It'll be interesting and partially entertaining. I do not plan on trading it. I do not have a trade book for trading IPOs, but I do like watching them. And commenting and seeing what could possibly happen. Let me just set up one of my screens over here. Over here, share entire screen. Over here. In there. Okay. As far as economic news, we had 8:30 this morning. We had core retail sales, which were right as predicted. And retail sales, sorry, there was a labor jobless claims right here. Initial jobless claims came in hotter than expected. Quite sure how that's going to affect the markets. And then after 8:30, so 10 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m., nothing that's a really 3-star importance. And then earnings schedule, not much going on for earnings today. So that's what I'm looking at. MNQ, I was looking at my my fibs this morning, and nothing was happening. Nothing was really working. So over here at this low, we did not retrace. At this low, we retraced close, but we didn't make it to the 50. And as far as right now, as far as we're concerned, hard to tell which direction, who's in control right now. So this is where I'm going to wait to see what happens in the first half hour to see who is actually in control, buyers or sellers. A good trade would have been the possible buying from this breakout area yesterday. We're retesting that same area again. Right, so the buyers that we found over here and again came in again. So that would possibly have been a good strategy. I don't know if any of you were looking at this level to buy over here for a move up, right? Buying right here with a stop, possibly around where the stop was yesterday at this level. This would be a very profitable trade already. Not quite sure where the entry is on this 2-minute. Let's go to the 5, see if there's anything. Yeah, maybe over here would have been a good entry, or this somewhat of a kangaroo tail. It's not really a kangaroo tail because the tail needs to be 2/3 of the body. But let's say you got an entry somewhere in here, let's say above here. We'd already be close to what, right here, a 2.5 hour. Right, and this thing, especially with the news coming out of China, this thing could just keep going. So good luck to those who took this, and congrats for getting into a position. I think some of you were talking about being long NQ this morning. MES made new highs while MNQ was not at new highs. So MES seems to be catching up now. It was lagging MNQ yesterday. But this right here, as far as my my golden zone strategy is concerned, this is showing me nothing. This is just showing me chop. There's nothing in here that really shows me that maybe this fair value gap over here, where we started buying. Where did we start buying from? We started buying from this low, and we made it to this high over here. Look how it came in. Entry would have been on a limit entry would have been at the 50. Let's put it in here. And stop would have been just below 61.8. Right, this 61.8 over here, and that would have been the entry, and we'd be looking at the possibility of making 3R, and that was met over here. So again, that's what I look for. I look for a fair value gap on the 5-minute. I want to see some buying. This one would have worked. It would have been very, very close to being stopped out, but would have worked on MES this morning. I didn't like it and did not take it. I was looking at this just because MNQ was not respecting the fibs, and MES was it just looked really choppy to me. But this one entering on confirmation also would have worked. if you entered on confirmation here on the 5-minute, right, the 5-minute tail over here with the stop below the previous wick, and aiming for 3, that also would have worked in pre-market. All right, so that's the 50% retracement strategy. Ivo, you said you were looking at some stocks. What's in play this morning?
Yeah, I was just checking out Poet and what else? I just took a quick scalp on ONDS, checking that out as well. But otherwise, nothing in particular. Nothing else really.
Yes. And
The usuals, AMD, Tesla.
yeah.
Tesla's been good to me the last couple of days, so I'm
Nice.
happy with that.
Nice. I was kind of wanted to keep Nvidia on my chart, but you know what? In this pre-market chop here, it's in a very large range of just up and down and doesn't seem to have any direction. This I can change to TSLL, which I know is what you trade. It's a cheaper version of Tesla. It is a bull 2 times ETF. And let's look at it over here. We've got an area of liquidity down here. Did it take out this low right here? Yes, it did. And what did it do after? It put on a wick, and now it's bullish from there. So this area of liquidity here could have been a good entry. I'm really interested in seeing what happens with MNQ at the highs. Let's take this off. And with MES, same thing. Do we just keep ripping? Right? Do we break out above a pre-market high here and then come retest it for a long? At this point, it does seem like we are strong. These are 2 very big fair value gaps. So we started buying right at the open here. And the reverse, I'm just going to leave it at high a day for now. And we shall see, does it pull back? Ideally, it would not make a new high. It would start pulling back into this area where we could possibly get in for a long. As far as room to the left, there's not a lot. We were just there this morning from the buying, where we started buying at the open. And as far as room to the left of the above, well, we're at all-time highs. So there's absolutely room to the left. M2K. Just very subdued. Gold is dropping. Gold started dropping up here, right? It started dropping here, but then it retraced. So I'm going to draw it from here just to see if this right here, did it come into the 50? Not quite. Not quite. I mean, if you jimmy it a little bit and put the fib right here, then it goes right up to it. Right? And that's why I said it's not an exact science. But for now, we are absolutely selling, right? We were selling at the open, and this was the high. And right here at 9:31, we started buying into it. So if we had put a fib there, where did it go to? It retraced into the 50 for the further move down. Now that this fib has proven that it worked, take it off, and you draw a new one from where it retraced. It retraced to the 50. Then it came down. Then it retraced over here. So selling started happening here. Then you bring it down to the low. I don't know if this is the low. This candle hasn't even closed. But if it were the low, and I don't like that it's happening so fast, the retrace is very, very fast, I would not take this personally. But you can tell where, especially in a trending market, how we retrace. We don't go straight down. We retrace often to the 50. MCL seems to be climbing. Copper pulled back yesterday. Let's look at copper over here. We were selling, right, at the first half hour at 10 a.m. We started selling. This is where the fair value gap started. So from here to where we started buying, right there. Zoom in. Right, we started selling. Let's just be a little bit more precise. Started selling, then we started buying. Where did it reverse? In the golden zone before the move down. I think over the last little while, I think I've proven that this is an edge. Right? It's an edge. It's something that happens more often than not. Now, how people enter and how people take this, traders will take this information and make it their own. That's up to the individual trader. Someone anymore. Too bad you can't poke someone anymore. Yeah, good comment, Suzanne. We used to be able to send a sound. Even in Facebook, I think you used to be able to send a poke. I think that's what you're referring to. Silver seems to be selling as well. This is not something that this was an area of possible support. We broke down below it, right? Over here was support, again, but then we broke below support, but did not come and retest, did not come back here. And if it were to come back now, I think the move is already pretty large. Right? Had it come back from here and retested, this might be a good area to take the break and retest short from this white line here. But this is where we started selling, and doesn't seem to be much of a retrace. Here, yeah, I guess it did, right on this first candle. So this is where we started selling. If I stop the fib at the bottom of this candle right here, 2 candles later, it retraced into the 50 and then started selling again. So I would move now my fib from where we rejected. This is where sellers regain control. And this is where we stopped, right? Or was where the drop stopped and started buying. Will it retrace to here? Let's look to the left. We've got right, where it's gone now, it could likely come back down to this area. So there's room to move still. So let's put in a limit order over here. Limit order, take profit and stop loss. I want it to be a sell, therefore my limit is above. It would be, entry would be just below the 50 and the stop. Move it up. That's the thing with silver. I think it's very heavily leveraged. Let's put the risk at 100. And the stop would be above the 61.8. There you go. It's saying 3 contracts. So there you go. So limit order. If it comes back into the 50, it'll fill. It'll sell 3 contracts. It'll automatically put in the 3R. I do not like that it's below low of day, but there is room to make it to the next area of possible support. And the stop is just above the 61.8. Again, this is on paper trading, not something I would necessarily take because I have not back tested my fib entry with silver. Any questions? I know somebody was saying they're new in here. Questions, comments, please don't hesitate. The IPO usually is in the afternoon, so Cerebras will see where it opens. I have no idea, actually. Let's look at it. Curious to see where Cerebras is pricing the IPO. It's 185 per share. So this is where 185 is where Cerebras priced its IPO at 185 per share, well above its previously marketed range. Stock begins trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol CBRS. Largest U.S. listing so far in 2026. Pricing at 185 per share, the offering raised 5.5 billion, implying a valuation on the company nearly 40 billion and up to 49 billion on a fully diluted basis. AI chipmaker is making its public debut today on May 14th. Official press release, etc., etc. So it is being priced at 185. It does not mean it's going to open at 185. This thing could open up at 400. You know, there's obviously a lot of hype and excitement with anything to do with chips and AI. So this would be interesting to watch later on this afternoon. Obviously interesting to watch for geeks like me that love watching charts and seeing what the market is pricing in. MES 51, so 21 minutes into the morning. We started buying without a pullback. Where did we start buying? Over here. Where is it possibly starting? The pullback is right over here. Almost made it to high a day. So we could be pulling back into here. When the range is this large, I'm hesitant to go in with a limit order. I will, however, if we do close this candle red and it does start pulling back, I will start looking at it and I'll put an alert right above it because it is, the bulls are in control right now. It is likely, I think 50% chance that it's going to continue buying at this level. Right? And this was a prior level of, it was just above yesterday's high during regular trading hours. And then you can tell that we touched here, over here, and then it was resistance this morning, right? These three, but then we just blew past it. So this 50 area, I enjoy when the 50 area lines up with another area, an area of possible support. Now, I know I'm reaching a little bit because this is on a 5-minute time frame, right? But there was on a 5-minute, there was resistance here. Right? Look at this wick on this one. I don't know if it's easy to see. I need to make my wicks a little bit thicker. But it wicked up here and then came back down, tried to make it above, could not, tried to make it above, and it could not. The dotted line is just the alert that I've just put in. So when it does come back and touch the 50, it might prove to be a good place for the reload. So all these buyers here might be adding into their positions at the 50% retracement. Can you give some tips on how to backtest? My strategy is pretty much based in previous levels, previous day high, low, open, close. Then I wait for a break and golfing, etc. So far, I have been with a 60% win rate on trades taken, but I would like to be better at backtesting to be more confident. All right, without getting into details of what your strategy is, I find that the best way to backtest is with TradingView, with the replay. So if you're using previous day high, low, open, close, make sure you have those levels drawn automatically. There's scripts out there that will draw those. And what happens is that when you replay, let's say I start a new replay and I bring my my replay over here, well, the levels will redraw. These are mine, by the way, and they're not working perfectly well yet, but they will redraw to where you're replaying. And then you replay depending on your time frame, 5-minute, 15-minute, and you start looking at it candle by candle, right? There we go. And we can tell, we can see what happened. This is a replay from yesterday, right? Just go candle by candle and how it would have worked. What I like to do when I'm replaying here, I'll give you some, these are replays that I did for teaching a strategy. I like to draw on it, right? So I'll draw an arrow. I'll put in, this is a tool that I use, is my fib tool. And then I'll put in the long or short position, and I'll put it in. Then I take a screenshot of it, right? And I document. So for Sunday going into Monday, May 4th, this was that day's trade. And I'll take a screenshot of this. Here, I'll show you, just print screen, and I'll draw around. And then I've got a visual representation of what that day looked like, and then I'll document. I put it in a backtesting journal, so it's the same as my live trading journal, but I just labeled it that it's a backtesting, and I'll put in whether the strategy worked or it didn't work, and if it did work, what worked well, what levels were respected, what levels were not respected, and I'll do that for. Well, I mean, I started doing this years ago, but just for this strategy, I started in January. So I've been backtesting since January 2nd, and just documenting how often it works. All right, so hopefully that helps to answer. And then when you want to get out of it, you just hit replay again and you say leave. And when you say replay over here, you can say start new. Right now it's on a candle or a bar, but you can go to a specific date. You can go over here and you can say, I want to go back to, let's say, January 2nd. Depending on your subscription with TradingView, sometimes it won't work. You won't be able to go back that far just because of the amount of bars that are, like if I go to the 1 minute here, it might not. Oh yeah, it shows it to me. Okay. I like to backtesting on the 5 minute. And there you go. This is what I would look at. So that was from the 31st. And this was, this is MNQ. This was January 2nd. And I can tell if I start hitting play here, price went up to the top and then rejected. Let's look at it. Market's not open yet. Oh my. Let's go to a 15-minute. Went up, rejected like that, and came down. I do not have a photogenic memory. I just remember that day as being one of my best trading days ever. I bought puts over here on the 5-minute. I'll show you the actual strategy. Kangaroo tail at the top, right over here. I bought puts here. Stop was above the wick, and I held for a while. So this was an options trade, which worked out really well. So anyway, again, hopefully that works. That helped. Go back to today. Here we go. We're retracing. Something I don't like about the retrace, first of all, it's before, well, it's 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is good. This is a violent retrace, right? It's happening very fast. It's right. And I already said, I don't like putting a limit order when it's this large. So let's see, will it give me my usual entry, my candlestick entry? And the candlestick entry that I like, you're welcome, by the way. I don't know how to say your name. Kyle, I hope. Perfect. There you go. Kyle. There you go. See, right now, it's not giving me an entry. So this is, I said, I don't like how it's coming down this fast. If the buyers are truly in control, they will not let this go down so fast. If it closes below the 61.8, which on the 2-minute time frame it just did, on the 5-minute as well, it closed right below. I no longer like this setup. And that's what I was saying about this morning on MNQ. It does not seem to be respecting the fibs. On the 2-minute, now that it's, let's put it back. Let's pretend it didn't close below. Wrong tool. Fib over here. From there to there. On the 2-minute time frame, I wanted to see a dip in and then really start buying. And we're not going to see that because the body opened up over here, and it might work. I mean, this might be a profitable trade, but the way that I trade it, this is not my entry. It's obvious that it's strong though, right? This was a strong move. We still have it. I know a lot of people trade the fair value gaps, and look at how it came back and tested that fair value gap. Right? Sometimes it'll come and test half of the fair value gap. Sometimes it'll test the entire thing, but it won't close below it. So that gives it a really good entry. I do not have a trade book for this. MES, the fib would have been higher. Did the same thing. Complete disregard for the 50 golden zone area. So no trades for me. What's going on with everything else? No direction on M2K. I don't see anything except for the rejection at the top here. This is an interesting rejection candle. Not according to my playbook, for a couple reasons. This is my Kangaroo Tail, but the body of the candle from my trade book, the body of the candle needs to be within the body of the previous candle. Because this is showing very, very strong buying pressure. Right? We opened down here, went up. The next candle opened right here and then shot up right away. So this is showing strong buying pressure. Therefore, I don't want to short here. Had this candle been red and the body within the body of the previous candle, then it could be a viable Kangaroo Tail short, like what I showed was my entry on the Qs. Actually, I was looking at MNQ, but the Qs did the same thing on January 2nd. Right? But this is not ideal for me, and I don't like taking trades between 8:30 and 10. Right? This area right here is too choppy for me. MGC. So this fib is not worth putting on. What should have been put on is that we did start buying over here. This is a little fair value gap. Look at how it came back down. There would have been one here as well. Right? It's no longer there, but there would have been one right here. It got closed because these candles. So with this one and this one here, actually, there's another one. No, that's the only two right here. I could possibly put a fib from there to the high right here, move it over, enter on the 50, aim for 3R. Would have worked. Right here. Stop below to 61.8. Aim for 3. Profit reached. Profit target reached right there.
Hey, Tarek, I did it again.
Oh, really, man?
Yeah, man, I just couldn't help myself.
Oh, man. You shorted the ES?
Yeah,
The MEES?
yes.
You
What
shorted
do you think?
ES, sorry? Or
Yeah, MES. I'm just shorting the break and retest of the overnight high. See if it works.
on M2K?
Both of them, MES and M2K.
Oh, okay. Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
Right? It's showing weakness at the highs. Right? That's and I'm saying this for my students and whoever else wants to listen. I know you know what you're doing, obviously, but this is all-time highs. Wicked up again, wicked up and rejected strong. Right? This is a big bullish candle. I don't know where your entry is, but there was a lot of selling here. And then if this is the breakdown, we are retesting this area. Pre-market high, we're retesting it right now.
Of the M2K?
This is MES.
Oh, MES, sorry, one sec.
If I go to M2K, M2K rejected the top here. I've talked about this candle already, was a rejection candle. Came down. And then, you don't really see the market's hand until the market opens at 9:30, which it did over here. This is where the volume comes in. And this was a bearish candle, came down. Is it retesting this general area over here? Possibly.
So with M2K, my entry was around yesterday's high.
Okay.
And on MES, it was the overnight high.
Okay. There you go. I hope we can close this fair value gap. This green fair value gap shows that this candle here was really strong. If we can If we can close this and make this fair value gap disappear, then the thesis for it going back down is stronger. And it will not close until this candle closes in 2 minutes. Right now it disappears, but it will reappear if we close above it. And this long over here would have worked well. And this is right at 10 a.m. So I wish I was looking at this, because this I would have taken. Because it did show, and this was at a prior level of support. Right? You've got this support over here. Look at what gold did. Let me take my drawings in. Right? Gold was selling. But then when it reached pre-market low, which we had touched just earlier over here, just a tiny bit lower than yesterday's lower, right? Didn't even close a candle down here. Right? Came down, that's a liquidity sweep. All the way up. Again today, liquidity sweep. Candle does not close down there and just starts buying. This one printed 2 fair value gaps. And I'll hit the replay here, just to show that there was one there, and there would have been one right here as well. Right? So if I go like this, there's a second fair value gap. Third fair value gap. And then we start selling. Okay, so from the bottom to where it started reversing. Over here, buyers seem to be most recently in control. The most recent impulse move is buying. So that's why I started at the bottom and I ended where we start retracing. And then candle by candle, this is where I would put an order. Right? I would put a long at the 50. With a stop right below the 61.8, which is the actual fib number. All the other numbers are not fibs. They're just, different ratios of the actual fib number, which is 61.8%. And then go candle by candle. There you go. Limit order would have been filled, and right after it filled, it just zoomed up, and that's why I like having the profit target. Oh, I didn't put it up to 3 yet. There's the 3, right? Filled, stop, and filled again with the take profit. 3R. Do that consistently, and it's definitely possible to be profitable. And now it's just chopping around. That's why I like taking the 3R. What do? You stay in here to try to get back to the high day. For some strategies, yeah. For mine, it's not worth it. Hamza, let's see what the short. Hopefully, we closed that gap because we wicked down here. Right? The price came down here, so that's why we closed that gap. I misspoke when I said that if it closes above, it would stay there. It does not, right? Because price did come down here. So fair value gap is when you have a candle and 2 candles later, so it's a 3-candle play. The third candle did not come back down to this area, and it creates a gap. And if I use this 5-minute gap and extend it right, look at where we touched. Right? Touched it here, again here. Right? So I would be very confident in the short if we can make it below PDC and close, and then below this range here and close, and then possibly below pre-market low, which is right here, and aiming for this zone right here. Right? This is a higher time frame zone here. IPO long MES. Good luck on that. Going long MES and MNQ these days just seems like a no-brainer. It is incredible how strong this market is.
It's what the sensible person would do.
Yeah. No comment. Hey, you have a strategy, and you know, it could have worked. Right? That's the thing. I mean, this has been the hardest part of trading, is that once you get into a trade, and Mark Douglas says this well, and if you haven't read, and I'm talking to everyone here, including my students in Discord right now, if you haven't read Trading in the Zone, it's an absolute must read, because he goes into detail there that once you get into a trade, you have zero control. Let's go back to my gold trade over here. Can I undo? It's undoing stuff on the other. No, I can't. But anyway, I went long over here. Once you get into the position, yes, a lot of people manage their positions. What I have found works well for me. I don't like scalping. I like putting on a position, planning it out, looking at the charts, putting it on, and then leaving it, because you have zero control. And if you have an edge, like the strategies that I described, they all have edges. Like what Avi describes, it has an edge. If you have an edge and you stick to it, and your winners are bigger than your losers, you will be profitable. M2K is hovering around there, just not to influence your trade. But when I see this, I for sure think that we might still be going down, but at this point, we will very highly likely take out liquidity up here. We're going to wick into this because there's stops over here. Right? That's my prediction. I don't like predicting, but that's, you know, when you're looking at candlesticks, you have to try to figure where is it likely to go. I think that once it started, it moved up, rejected this area, possibly moving down, but now that it's hanging out over here, it's going to break either side. But if we are going to move down, I would not be surprised to see it pop up first, then move down. And if it's moving up, the opposite. I wouldn't be surprised to see it pop down below this wick here and then move up. So definite flag forming over here. Would you call this a bull flag? Right? The last major 5-minute candle here was bullish. But as far as room to the left is concerned, we were just there. So it was bearish, found support, very bullish on this candle, but then it's struggling to make new highs.
It's just stressing me out, this. Don't like the fact that it's just hovering.
Just on this candle right here, let's look at it. See how it made a new low here? Just by a tick. The low of this was 58.2, low of this 58.10. Right? They're toying with us. And then not being able to make a new low. So if it does close near the bottom and then break that with momentum, then I'd be very happy for you. That it does show that it could be moving down. But right now it's just chopping.
I've given it some wiggle room. My stop was at the high of the day.
At the high of the pre-market high here. So 28.69.20.
No, sorry, the high of the New York.
Of RTH, regular trading hours. Okay.
Yeah, it's around 28.57-ish. And same with the MES as well, about 7504.
He's
which looks like it's going to stop me out. Oh well, can't control it now. Just gonna have to accept it.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, just and the example, I think it's in Mark Douglas's book, but it's in one of the books I've read, that one trader, just one person, one whale, one Avi gets in and buys 500 contracts. This thing all of a sudden is going up, right? So it's uncontrollable. But the opposite is true as well. Somebody could be short over here and decides to sell over here, and is waiting for the bid to be hit, not moving their price, right, and selling.
Yeah, MES stopped me out.
So that's good for cow. I hope I'm saying it right again. It shows a lot, a reminiscence of a stock trader. Yeah. Stock operator. MES just broke high a day, lots of room to the left. There is absolutely, well, there's unlimited room to the left because we haven't been here, right? This is all-time highs. Trading all-time highs is...
So the reason I went short, if you look at the 30-minute chart in the MES,
30-minute.
I thought it had already swept the liquidity above 7,500. If you see that opening 30-minute print.
Yeah. High 75.0350.
Yeah, so I thought that was the liquidity sweep. Clearly it wasn't.
Well, it could have been. It's definitely, that's what a liquidity sweep looks like. It's a very long width candle, and then it came and closed all the way down here.
Yeah.
Right? So the thesis is not wrong. But I mean, like I said, the last couple of weeks, it's very hard to short MNQ and MES. And if you do, you have to look for very tight ranges because it just wants to go up. MNQ did not. Oh, what was that? Did I have a trade on here? I know it's a paper trade, but what did I have it on? Oh yeah, silver. There you go. I forgot about this. It's a paper trade, so that's why the fact that I forgot it is okay, because it's just a demonstration, right? I should have been paying attention because my fibs are no longer at the right area, right? That's the fib there. The stop is now a little bit higher. So what I can do is that it entered a little bit too high. Either I can get out of the trade right now because this was not my thesis, or I can bring the stop down to where it should be. Should be right up above the 61.8. So that level is 85.64. So I'm going to bring this to 85.67, 3 points ahead. So I've tightened my stop. 3R, if I'm risking 50 bucks, 3R right now at that entry. Let's just put it in here. My entry was right here. My stop is there. 3R is now right around here, right? So profit target, I can move right there. So
the delta is flat on MES. It's just it's very tricky.
there you go. So then, you know what, this silver trade, I'll get to MES in 2 seconds. Silver trade is a good example of paying attention of what you have on, right? I'm just, doing this for teaching purposes, but if it were a live trade, I would have had to move my fib. I probably would still stay in it because it seems bearish. But I think I've done the right thing. I moved the stop just above the new 61.8. My take profit is at 3R from the entry, right? Not aiming for low day, just aiming for 3R. So we'll leave that there. And once it gives me the audible fill, we'll come and see what happened. MES, are you talking about CVD?
Yeah.
CVD, let's go back to the 5-minute. So CVD on, here, let me get rid of, this is from a few days ago, no longer pertinent. I'm not in replay right now. No, this is live. So CVD on bullish candles, on buying candles, we are going up. And then on bearish candles, we are going down. And now we are going back up. We're not above the high of day. Is that what you're pointing out?
Yeah, when it broke out, it was still sort of underneath. But now it's starting to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. CVD seems to be very closely aligned with price. So it doesn't seem to have any anomaly there. And as far as, let's look at the trading sessions. I believe we're above Asia. Yeah, we are above the Asia high here. Let's see. All right, this is low and low.
CVD just hit high of the day now.
Sorry?
So the CVD just hit the high of the day now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it was lagging. I don't know. Strange. So the M2K one seems to be working okay.
You were not stopped out on M2K. Good.
You know.
Yeah, good. There you go.
So there's a lot more trappy behavior in the MES and the MNQ when it comes to shorting anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, aren't we all?
If there's a way to go short that makes sense, because with MES, the shorts seem to be a lot harder.
Especially right now, and this with the market conditions we're in right now, it's a very, very bullish market. And with Trump being in China right now, if he sends out a tweet or whatever you call it, saying that, you know, we've made peace and Iran is going to be fixed, and I mean the conflict is going to, I'm not coming out with the right words, but he could be coming out with some very, very bullish news, and that's what he likes to do, right? He likes having the markets at all-time highs. He's a businessman, so there's this market is not a prediction, but as far as I'm concerned, not done going up. But MES at all-time highs, MNQ lagging a bit, right? MNQ did the same thing yesterday, right? It had a hard time with pre-market high, and then when it broke out, retested, went higher. Now, having a hard time with pre-market high, what's it going to do today? Will it break out and retest higher, or it could reject this area? And both of them, I'd like looking at them together. I like seeing what MNQ and MES are doing.
The VIX is rising as well quite a fair bit, so the downside protection demand is increasing. People are buying a lot more puts.
VIX, is this the right one? Yeah, it is. Volatility index, it is higher. So, and you can expect that people are buying puts, right? It's not if you're a gambling person, this is where you'd buy puts, right? At all-time highs.
So most puts are bought by institutions.
Yep.
They're more of a temporary hedge for them. So if the market moves dramatically in one direction, that's how hedge funds typically tend to operate.
Yeah.
They just play the volatility.
And if you're new to options, puts is basically just a bet on the stock going down. Just basically the options way of shorting a stock by buying puts. If you're selling puts, it's the opposite, right? But if you're buying puts, you're basically hedging that the market will be reversing from here. This on the MES on a 5-minute, we broke out and then came down, right? So this is not necessarily a breakout and retest because it needs to break out of this area, right? This was the area it broke out, but then it rejected it right away and came down, right? So the breakout might be this candle right here, and the retest might be what we're seeing right now. But this is on a very tight time frame. The breakout was over here, right, at the high of day. It's not a very big breakout. And we've already retraced below this high of day. So I would not consider this a breakout and retest. What's my silver trade doing? Silver trade is up 96, aiming for 141. My target, profit target is right over here, right? Even though it went in at the wrong area, right? The entry should have been over here. Let's show where the entry should have been and where the stop should have been with my actual with this, and then the 3R would be down here, right? So this indicates what the trade should have been. This indicates what the trade is that I actually took with the stop loss that was tighter over here. So we'll see what happens with that. Oil, I'm seeing nothing here. This is just an area of chop. I like that there was room to the left from the low. So had I been looking at this from pre-market to this high over here, once the market opened, where did it come? Where did it come to? Holy. Didn't realize it was 10:30 already. So yeah, this is how I would have traded. I would not have traded it because I do not like trading into the open. But with the strategy we are buying, you can tell that these two fair value gaps here are showing that the latest impulse move right around to this point, the latest impulse move was buying. Therefore, you start the fib at the low. Where did it start turning back? Don't look at these over here because they wouldn't have happened. Just do a replay here. Right? So this is what I would have seen. Right? This is where it retraced. So I'm curious to see, do we continue buying once price gets into the golden zone? And then you go candle by candle. It's rejecting the top, chopping. Let's go a little bit quicker, right? This is where it came and almost touched the 50. Right? And this right here, this candle right here on the 5-minute is absolutely a bullish candle that could indicate an entry. But now that you're entering that far away, right, from the 50, your 3R is much further away. Oops. Whoa, what have I done? Anyway, it would have reached it. Anyway, with that, I'm going to get out of the replay here and take these drawings off. Will this hit target? Don't know. I'll share it tomorrow. I'll have this drawing. I'll leave it on here because I don't trade this product. So I'll leave this on here and we'll look at it tomorrow. Will the 50 hold? And once it's on, for me, it's just worth it to just leave it on. Even though it looks like it might be coming out and taking me out, you know what? The amount of times that I used to do that, just take it off, and then all of a sudden it doesn't go to your stop and it goes right to your profit target. If you're willing to put in $100 risk or $10 risk or whatever your R value is, if you're willing to put it on to try it, from my experience, just leave it on. Right. M2K still going. Hamza, I don't know if you're still involved in this, but
Yeah, still got it running.
Good. Good. And thanks for listening. Thanks for participating, everyone. It's great to have questions and people sharing. The room remains open. I am just going to walk away. I don't know if anybody else is going to step in, but I know that there's a lot of people that share what they're doing once I sign off. Okay, so thanks for being there, gang, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, cheers.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.